Okay guys, we're doing it. It's a Stepn guide. So I've been playing this game for about 21 days, maybe a little bit longer. I've been having a great time, but I have made a few mistakes along the way. In fact, I made a lot. I definitely have not been as optimized as I should have been, and I've learned a lot in my last month of playing this game, and I'm definitely recommending this game to anyone that, like, my girlfriend does it, I do it. I've recommended all the time to different community members and a lot of my friends. So I'm really enjoying this game and this journey. Stepn, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm not going to do an introduction on this game yet, as there's a lot of those already out there. But Stepn is basically a move to earn gamification on a running app, and it's a lot of fun. But basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some tips and tricks that anyone that's starting this game should definitely learn and understand, because it does help you in starting this game and making these decisions. And basically, I learned these through trial and error as well as learning from the community. So I'm just sharing along that knowledge and wisdom. So the very first bit of advice I could ever give anyone that's starting this game is to create a plan and stick with it. What I did when I first started this game is I bought a jogger because I didn't know if I could run and maintain above 8 kilometers an hour for a runner, but I definitely knew that I could walk more. I basically knew that I could jog or walk faster than 4 kilometers an hour for 10 minutes. So I started with a jogger, but I also started with a jogger that had a 3 mint count. And what I did is, after 1 week of playing this game, I was like, okay, this game's pretty fantastic. It's going really well. I want to put more money into this game. So I sold the jogger and then I bought 3 runners in order to have 1 runner as my main shoe and then 2 runners that would be constantly used for breeding. And I would then run a 0-to-1 breeding strategy, which has gone really well. But on the one hand, I had to pay that 6% fee for selling my jogger. I had to waste a lot of time leveling up the jogger, and then I would sell all of that time and GST I spent in the jogger to another person. So definitely create a plan and stick to it. That's like the very first core piece of advice I can give you. And it doesn't matter if you do a 1 shoe strategy, a 3 shoe strategy, a 9 shoe strategy. Even if your strategy is you're going to start with 3 shoes and breed your way till you have 9 shoes, that's fine. But write it down, stick to it. If you have an exit plan on when you want to get your initial ROI out of this game, and then just keep reinvesting, that's a different story. But basically, write that down and then stick to it. It will make your life a lot easier. The next bit of advice is, it kind of links to the first bit, but it's basically learn your fitness level. So when I first started this game, I was doing a jogger and I could easily do a jogger. Like, it was so much joy just to get home from work, put on my shoes, and then just go for a 10-minute jog. It was super easy to do. When I got my runners, it was so much harder just to maintain the 8 kilometers an hour. And then on top of that, because I did 3 shoes, I had double the energy. So instead of having 2 daily energies, I had 4, and it was pretty damn intense. It was a journey, but it's been good. It's been good for my health. So the other thing that you definitely should learn is, especially if you're going to start this game with a 1 shoe strategy, is that you should learn this really unique trick, which is basically to maximize your earning. And the way you maximize your earning is that in this game, you'll see that, ignore what shoe you get because that just pays you a different amount of GST. But when you start this game, if you're running a 1 shoe strategy, you get 2 energy a day, and they pay you 0.5 energy every 6 hours. But when you run in the game, it doesn't burn 0.1 energy per time. What it does is it burns 0.2. So it goes up in increments of 0.5 every 6 hours, but it goes down when you jog in increments of 0.2. So if you started 2 energy on a full day, like you waited 24 hours, you got 2 energy, you'll run and it'll go 2, 1.8, 1.6, 1.4, 1.2, 1, 0.8, 0.6, 0.4, 0.2, and then it finishes you at 0. If you run when you have 0.5, what happens is it goes 0.5, 0.3, 0.1, and then it goes 0. But when you click finish your jog, it says that you've earned 0.6 or you've spent 0.6 energy. So by running every 6 hours, what you do is in a day, compared to just running once every day, you would have spent, instead of 2 energy, it's 2.4. So you get you get an extra 20% profit every day by doing that strategy. And that's something I never learned. So it's definitely something you should learn about. If you do a 3-shoe strategy, it's not as important. The next thing we got to learn is the different attributes. So when you start this game, you will log in, use an activation code, create your account, and you will then go to the marketplace and you will see these shoes. So there's many different stats that you want to look at. Like, once again, it does depend on your strategy and your fitness level. So you're going to decide between a walker, a jogger, a runner, or a trainer. You're also going to decide how many mint the shoe has done. So if you're doing a minting strategy, you're going to be looking for shoes that have 0 to 1 mints only, because after 2 mints, the price to mint increases, very similar to like Axie Infinity. But if you're ignoring all that and you're just going to get your first pair of shoes, there's also a quality type. But let's say you're doing a 1-shoe strategy and you're starting with the cheapest shoes, which is commons, and then you've decided your fitness level, so you're either going to be walking, jogging, or running. You've decided all that. The next thing that you're going to focus on are your attributes. So there is efficiency, which is how much GST you earn per energy spent. Luck is your chance to earn mystery boxes and gems, which basically you can put into your shoe. The next is comfort, which earns GMT, which is the Dow token for this game, but you can only start earning that after your shoe is level 30. And then the final thing is resistance. So every day when you go for a jog, your shoe degrades and you then have to spend GST to repair your shoes and maintain them, which is a really good unique burning mechanic, which games like Axie should definitely look into including. But with these 4 attributes, when I started this game, I never learned this, but basically luck and comfort don't matter if you're doing a 1-shoe or a 3 common shoe strategy, purely because on the one hand, you don't even meet the bare minimum requirements to find and obtain mystery boxes, because 1, your luck is too low or your energy is too low, so you can't find any mystery boxes, so luck doesn't matter at all. And then in terms of comfort, it costs a lot of time and money to get your shoe to level 30, and at the current stage of the game, I know that they're planning to make GMT a lot more important and viable, but in the current way of the game, by just having high efficiency and high resistance and maximizing your GST earnings, you could sell GST and earn and buy GMT at a much better rate than if you had leveled comfort. So for those reasons, comfort and luck don't matter. So when you start this game, we're assuming you're getting a common shoe. Your attributes are basically on a score of 0 to 10, and what you're going to look for is a base. So I'm using the word base, that's the other thing. So on the one hand, you're going to look for a base point score for efficiency and resistance. If you combine the two, try and look for a 15 or 16 out of 20. So you're going to be looking for like 7.5s for each of them, or like an 8 for each of them, or like 7s for each of them. And that's a great starting shoe to start this game. I started this game and I think I went like 2 or 1 efficiency and then like 6, 6, 6, because I was like doing the maths and I was like, okay, that's a pretty good shoe. It's like 20 out of 40. The reality is luck and comfort don't matter. Just look for high efficiency and high resistance and you're in for a good time. So the other thing that you should see is when you look in the store, you will see these, like some shoes will have green and green is basically the points you spend for having a leveled shoe. So if somebody has spent their points on anything else apart from efficiency and resistance, so if you see like a level 5 shoe, because normally it's the level 5 shoes that are the cheapest, and they've already spent their points, if those points have been spent in anything apart from efficiency and resistance, don't even look at the shoe. Like, that's just a waste of points. If they've spent points in luck and comfort, you don't want that at all. I cannot stress that enough. That is, you like, and if they don't have these green stats, that's okay. It just means that they haven't spent them. So the minute you buy your level 5 shoe, you can then spend your points into efficiency and into resistance. And I'm going to include it in the link below. There's a useful tool called like a Stepn shoe optimizer, which you can then put in your shoe details, and then it'll help you optimize to earn as much GST as possible. Another useful tool that a lot of beginners forget is the repair costs. So when you do your repair costs, basically, so every day, you don't have to repair your shoes every day. Only once it gets to below 50 out of 100 do you have to start worrying, because then you start earning less GST. So only then does it actually become important. But what is important is that if you're leveling up your shoes, the price increases per level. So if you do a run and your shoes are level 5, and while you run on a level 5, but they are being leveled up to a level 6, and you burn all of your energy and you wear out your shoes at level 5, you can't repair them until the shoe has been leveled up. So you've got to wait that duration, and then when you click repair, you're repairing a level 6 shoe, which means that the repair costs have increased. So it's always better to go for your run and then repair and then level up, because for that method, unless obviously we're talking like level 20 and more where it takes a full day, you basically then just save a little bit of GST earnings every time. And then the last thing to do and the last thing to learn about is transfer costs and transfer times. So if you just start this game, you get given an activation code, you make your account, you send some Solana into your account to buy your first pair of shoes. When you click buy, your energy will be 0. So you will still have to wait 24 hours roughly to play. If you want to do the 0.5 strategy, you can. So you can wait like a few hours, get your first 0.5, run your first 0.5, but you don't start with a full 2 energy. If you do a P2P trade, or you send it to a friend, you basically send a shoe to a friend, the first thing you need to learn is that it costs GST to move the shoe from the spending wallet into your actual wallet, and then from the actual wallet you can then send it to any Solana wallet, and then to import it only costs 0.001 Sol, so that's not the issue. It just costs 5 GST to make your shoe transferable. But if you were to just list it on the in-game market, you don't have to pay that 5 GST price. However, if you do send a shoe to a friend or Magic Eden or anything like that, the shoes will be on cooldown for 24 hours. So if you buy your shoes on Magic Eden and you import it into the game, you are going to have to wait 24 hours. The other cooldown that's very important to know is if you're doing a minting strategy and you click mint and you mint your first shoes and you want to mint again, the 2 shoes that had been minted have to be on a 48-hour cooldown. And so basically, it's always good to mint and buy your shoes before you go to sleep, so that way while you sleep you get back that energy and you don't have to wait as long for the cooldown. So yeah, that's kind of it, guys. Buy your shoes as early as possible, enjoy the game, make some GST. If you need a code, pop some messages down below. So I'm earning 5 energy a day, so I get a code every 2 days, and I just either pop it in my Discord or I give it onto the YouTube comments. So hopefully this video helps. Catch you guys in the next one.